Hello, hello! In today's video, I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know before going to your first concert. If you've never seen my face before, hi, my name is Kendra, and one quick look on my channel is gonna let you know that I love me a concert. I also love traveling, so if that's something you're into, hit the subscribe button down below. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video. So the first thing you're going to want to do is check whether you're getting yourself a seated or a standing ticket, because this is going to give you a couple of different options. So with seated, you're obviously going to be very much more comfortable. You can sit down whenever you want without getting trampled, but I think you do miss out slightly on the vibe. So personally, I've never booked myself a seated ticket. Who knows, maybe I book myself a ticket and it'll change my life one day. But for the time being, I very much love a standing ticket. Being in the middle of everything is just, it hits different. With a seated ticket, you also don't really have to worry about what time you get there because no one's going to take your seat. With standing, there are a couple of things that you're going to want to do if you actually want to see your artist. Your first option would be to pay extra if this is available. So for my first MGK concert, I really obviously wanted to see the artist. So we paid a little bit extra and we got early access, which basically just let us into the venue early. And with that, we automatically got barrier. Your other option is basically queuing for hours. Generally speaking, especially if it's a smaller venue, if the concert starts, say, 7-ish, I would recommend queuing at like 1 to 3-ish, just to make sure you're as close to barrier as possible. I've had instances where I didn't do that and I just showed up basically when doors opened, like when we went to see Ed Sheeran in London, but that was generally a bigger venue. It was at Wembley. Just to put it into perspective, Wembley holds 92,000 people and the last venue I went to, Royal Albert Hall, was about 5,000. So people were definitely more spread out there. With that being said, if you do plan on queuing for hours on end, the first thing you're gonna need to sort yourself out with is transport. Now, I live on an island in the middle of nowhere, so my first step there is usually a plane. But if you're lucky enough to not need to do that, I would recommend giving Google Maps just a look to see what works best for you. Also, apps like Omio will give you the best options between like trains and prices and buses and all that. Okay, now that you've got your transport sorted, next thing you're gonna want to plan is your outfit. So I would generally go for something cute and fitting the vibe of the concert that I'm going to, and most importantly, comfortable. So you need to take into consideration that if you are going to be queuing in the cold, it's gonna get hot inside the venue. So what I would generally wear is layers that I can take off and then wrap around my waist. So for the concert we went to in February, it was freezing outside. So what I wore there was thermal tights, leggings, leg warmers for the heat aspect. And then as the general outfit was a skirt and a t-shirt with like fishnet sleeves. And on top of that, I just wore a thin fleece jacket that I could just wrap around my waist the second we got inside, and that is what I did. On the other hand, if you are going to a concert in summer, you don't necessarily have to worry about that change. But obviously it will still be hotter inside the venue most probably. But do not forget your sunblock, because you will regret it if you're queuing for like 8 hours in the sun. And probably the most impactful part of your outfit is going to be your shoes. So if you are willing and capable of wearing heels for hours, by all means go for it. I cannot last longer than 10 minutes, so I usually go with my trusty Vans. They've never failed me thus far, so we're good. I also wouldn't personally recommend wearing newer shoes to a concert or traveling in general. I made this mistake once. Learn from your mistakes, or learn from my mistakes, because they're probably gonna need breaking in and they're gonna hurt. So now that you've got your transport sorted, your outfits planned, you're gonna want to pack your bag. Generally speaking, venues from my experience will only allow bags up to an A4 size in, unless you have medication. For information like that, I would suggest checking the venue's website just for confirmation and maybe messaging the venue if things are unclear. So when I went to my first concert, that being the Ed Sheeran one, I went in this bag. So it's just a small foldable bag. It literally folds into its own pocket, and I got this from Decathlon, and it literally folds up to be that tiny. With bags like this, you do have more space. So I remember putting in a jacket that I did not wear, and now I just don't take this and I plan my outfits a bit better. Like if I'm taking a jacket, I'll take one with the pockets being zippers, so if I put my phone in there, I don't have to worry about losing it. Nowadays though, I usually go with either something like this, so it's the tiniest fanny pack. It's one of the runner ones. It's also from Decathlon. Or to the last concert I went with something like this. It's slightly more fashionable, of course, and holds way more compared to the runner's one. So now you kind of have an idea of what bag you're gonna want to take. What are you gonna put in it? So first and foremost, your ticket. You're gonna want to get into the venue. Make sure you have your ticket either printed or on your phone, or ideally both, just in case something happens to one of the things, you're sorted. Usually I don't tend to print mine out. I trust my phone enough, which maybe I shouldn't be doing, but I usually just go with my phone and a power bank. So that's going to be your next thing, a power bank and the wire to connect the power bank to your phone. From what I've seen, most venues would not allow you to take in a camera with a detachable lens, so chances are most of the filming or photos that you're going to be doing is going to be on your phone, so make sure that power bank is a good one. Other than that, what you're going to want is your wallet with some form of payment method, whether that be card or cash, and some form of identification, because you might be asked for an ID card or a passport at the entrance. The last thing you're gonna need is your house key or your hotel key, just something to get you back to your bed pretty much at the end of the night. So with the idea of taking most of the photos and videos on your phone, I would recommend making sure you have storage, whether you do plan on taking one video or 50. What I personally do is I pay for Apple iCloud storage. Another option would be Google Drive, or manually transferring your photos or whatever you currently have on your device to a laptop or to a computer, just so your actual phone storage is clear. Okay, now that your bag is officially packed, let's talk food and drink. So again, I would suggest giving Google Maps a scan just to see what's around the venue. For example, at Wembley there was a box park, which is basically just a giant food court, so we didn't have to worry about food. And we also nipped out in between artists to get food from the kiosks that were actually at Wembley, because we did get hungry again. Typical. At other venues, I've generally just ordered delivery. Another option could be to take food with you in perhaps bags like these that you can just easily pack up when you're done. Food like snacks or water beforehand. So with water, I would suggest drinking loads in the morning and trying to go to the bathroom before the concert actually starts, just so you don't miss anything from the actual concert. But it's kind of hard to gauge in advance what kind of water will be available at the actual venue, because from my experience, literally every single venue has dealt with this differently. I've had venues that told me I can't bring water in, others that told me I can as long as I remove the cap, another venue told me I can as long as it's completely sealed. But generally speaking, when you're allowed in, you're most probably going to pass from the merch and food stalls first, so you can always nip out there and get a bottle of water for the concert. Or if you're maybe in a group, you can go in, find your spot, secure a good spot, and then one by one, or maybe one person can go buy a round of drinks for the group. Another option, which again might not be available at all venues, so far in mine that was the case except for one at Wembley because it's so huge, or maybe I just wasn't close enough to the front to realize, but the security in front of the stage would hand out cups of water but it's literally like a sip, but at that point it's a lifesaver. So if you're close enough to the stage, you can possibly get that. That's as far as my packing and planning goes. But just a couple of things to note: if you do have medication or anything such as inhalers, just make sure you get that in with you as well. There would be medical stuff available on site, I would hope, but just in case, it's better to be safe than sorry with these things. If you want to take care of your ears a bit better as well, I would also suggest picking yourself up a pair of earplugs. I do have an affiliate link with Loop. I'll leave that in the description down below if that's something you're interested in. That is all from me. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any other tips, leave them down in the comments below. Let's make it a tips and tricks kind of section. If you want to see more travel and concert content, make sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. Bye!